G'day and welcome back to another slot car video, and today I'm going to answer probably the most asked question of the channel. What is the timing system that I use when I review the cars? Well, it's free, it's an app, so stick around and let's check out this awesome free app that I've been using since day one on the That Slot Car Guide channel, and all you're going to need is a smartphone. So welcome back to another slot car video, and yes, I am going to tell you what is the lap timer that I use on the That Slot Car Guide channel. I can't believe I haven't done this earlier. I have answered it in questions before on the comments on some videos, but every single review I've done that's needed a lap timing system or I've tested a car, this is the free app I have used. Now, before I move any further, the LapTrax app is free. I'm not sponsored by this company or whoever made this app. I literally downloaded it many years ago and I've been using it ever since, prior to the channel and of course on the channel. Now, another quick disclaimer, I am talking about Android phones because you will need a smartphone and a phone stand. Now, if you have an iPhone, I'm not 100% sure if it works on that properly or if it is available. So I'm only going to talk for the Android users because I don't use an iPhone. So what will you need? You're going to need a phone stand, download the free app which is called LapTrax. We'll zoom in on the app itself and I'll show you how it works. If you do want to see it in action, please jump over and check out my other videos. Any video I've done that had a lap time recorded, I have used this free app. It is really cool. So let's go check it out. Let's see some of the functions and some of the tips and tricks I can share with you on how I find it easier to use. So I've set up a very basic test bed to show you how this app works. Now, I am using my SRC4 Capri channel car as a test car to show you how the camera sensor works. You will need an older Android phone. And when I say older, I'm using an old phone that I don't no longer use every day, so I can leave the app set up on it and on a rig. And you will need a basic phone stand just so the camera itself can stay steady and set up. Other than that, you're good to go. So let's zoom on in. Let's check out the app itself. I'll talk through some of the functions that are on there. Some I have never used, but I can explain to you what they do. And then I'll show you how to set up and then do some quick test push-throughs to show you how the actual LapTrax app works. Rightio, so here is the icon itself. I've got it set up on its own page. It's a green timer, like a lap timer. Now you are going to hear an announcer, so apologies, it may get a little bit loud. So let's start up the app itself.
LapTrax ready.
Rightio, so this is the first thing you are greeted with. Now, before you move any further, you will have to say yes to allow your phone camera to be able to work. So it won't work without your camera being allowed. So I've already set this up before. It doesn't give us that function. Let's quickly talk through a couple of things. We will be using Motion, but let's talk through Link. Now, Link is for Google devices. If you have a Google speaker or a TV, this will link, I believe, directly to it. And you can have audio through a speaker or screencast it to a TV. Now, second to that, I do use a Bluetooth speaker to have this running, so I don't have Google, whatever that may be, so I don't use this, I just use Bluetooth. And also this can do screencast. My phone can do screencast to my screencast TV, and that's how I display it on my big TV. Color tracks, I have never used that, but I've read the functions. Now this, I believe, is only up to 4 lanes, so 4 drivers, and if your lanes are colored, this can be set to pick up the color of the track as well as the car on that track. Haven't tested it, but that's what the description states. Manual, very self-explanatory, and then Motion is what we're going to do right now. So let's push on that. You may hear us speak again.
Motion detection mode. Announcer, normal, camera on. Set locations, exposure lock.
So here is our camera settings. This is very important. Now I'm going to try and move it so you can actually see the car itself. Now, there's a trick with this. I'm only using one car, so it only needs one car, one lane, pretty much in the vision at all time. Now, if you do want to have all 4 cars in vision, you just zoom out with the camera, and of course, the further away you go, the more exposure it will pick up. I've only tested 2 cars before, and it really works well for me. I will tell you some of the hiccups I've had, but this is your camera settings. I'll leave it right about there so we can pick up the edge of the car. So let's say yes.
Location and exposure set. Adjust motion detection.
So this is very important. I'm going to move the car. You'll see like a heat sensor. Even my hand, you'll see like a pixel heat sensor. Now this is where you want to set how sensitive the pickup is. Now I normally set it pretty high because depending on what color your car is, it may not pick it up. Red sometimes very hard, or scale. I have done 124, 132, 143 and 164 HO with this camera, so it does work. And as you can see, it's picking it up nicely. So let's just select that. Now, One thing I will say before we move any further, any shadows that you see on the screen, if you have this camera set up where your controllers are going over the top, or you are, like my hand right now is going in front of the car, it will pick up your shadow. So please, wherever you set this up, make sure there's no interference. So let's zoom out a little bit just so we can have a good look at the screen itself. I'll give it a slight tilt. Now here is our 4 selections of races. Now I've already got one set up, so let's have a quick look. And we'll set him up.
One race is selected. Swipe right for race options.
So I'll just move the camera into view. So now it says swipe right for race options. Now what you see in front of you is the interface that you will see the whole time. This will be on your TV and on your smartphone if you haven't got it screencast. Now if I press this button here, you'll see the car in the background. It will show you what's going through. I normally leave it as a solid black so I can just see the timer. Laps is quite simple. It goes up to 99, tap left, will go down, tap on the right hand side, it will go up. I normally do 5. The others are share functions, so if you want to keep your log, you'll see down the bottom here there's some information. Once you do a full session, so 5, 10, whatever laps, you will see your lap times down here, and also you will get a graph telling you exactly what your laps were for each car over the course. That can be saved and shared at a later date, which I haven't set that up. Quite simple. You pretty much just give it permission to set up and it will save it as pretty much a session. Now let's go over to the setup of the app itself. Countdown, very simple. You choose 5, 10, 20, or rolling start, which is still in beta mode. I haven't done a rolling start, really good for NASCAR racing. I normally use 5 seconds, but you'll see what that does in a tick. Literally counts down 5. Start and buzzer. So horn at the start, you'll hear a horn noise when it takes off. And of course, when you finish, there'll be a big buzzer noise. Enable announcer, yes, she will tell you how the laps are going, really good. And it says here, say lap. And let's just zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. So countdown, start horn buzzer, enable announcer on, announcer normal. You can change the speed of her talking if you want to listen to her really fast. That's up to you. I go normal. Say lap, you want her telling you what's happening. Comments, now I haven't used this before. I don't know if there's any set pre-comments that she can say during the race or you can preset them. I have not used that as yet. Up the top here, horizontal F1, this is how the actual screen is set up and your countdown. False start, definitely. If you jump the line, it will pick it up and throw off the race. And then final lap, you'll hear when I do a test run, there'll be a ringing bell on the last lap. And then race summary, this is when she makes comment of how the race was at the end. I have it on short. She just gives you your fastest, your average, and the winner, and that's okay for me, but you can change that. Now, another function that's not showing on here, it is I believe it was noises. So if you are casting this to your TV, you can either have an F1 noise, so you have pit noises, the cars going around in circles, doesn't mimic your cars. If they do pass, you will hear that revving noise, but it's just an ambient noise going on for the duration of the race. So now I've got my setup 5 laps, 5-second countdown. Now let's have a listen and see what she says. Now I may throw it off with my hand, but I'll give you a gist of how this works.
Countdown started. 5 seconds.
Here goes our countdown. So there's your countdown lights and your buzzer. Now if this is screencast to your TV, you'll be getting the same vision. Now let's move the car out the way. Now let's do a lap.
Lap 1, 12.99 seconds.
And as you can see down the bottom, it says motion 1. Let's do another lap.
Lap 2, 7.10 seconds.
Let's go a bit faster.
Lap 3, 4.83 seconds. Final lap motion 1. Lap 4, 4.52 seconds.
And that'll ring for the duration of the last lap. And
Lap 5, 8.59 seconds.
here's your race summary.
Race summary. Fastest lap. Lap 4, 4.52 seconds. Slowest lap. Lap 1, 12.99 seconds. Average lap time. 7.29 seconds.
So there's your short summary. It can be longer. If you zoom across now, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit, maybe not. It will show you your lap intervals. Now, if I do touch on one of these, it'll bring up each of the lap intervals showing you for this car only, one car only. That's what we've done over the course of the 5 laps. So let's swing it on back. Again, this is a free app. I use it It's very simple to set up. Yes, we have digital, we have other lap counters, but for me, I can take this in the car, I can go wherever I want, I can set a track up, and I can have some really good lap timing. The only thing I will say is make sure you set this up where there's no shadowing over the top of the camera itself, because it will throw off your lap times. Make sure if you're going to have it permanent, you'll set it up in a nice box so it's just visioning on your track. But I think this is a pretty damn good free lap timer. What's your thoughts on this one? So that's a wrap on my answering what do I use for the channel to time the cars. Now, LapTrax for me has been a really good free app, and again, I don't work for these people, I'm not sponsored by them. I've been using this app for a very long time, and from when I downloaded it, and I believe still now on the Play Store, it is free. Is it bulletproof? It's definitely not. If you do set it up wrong with shadowing, if it's not set up with the right exposure, you may miss a car or two. So it's a bit of trial and error, but I've been using this for many years prior to using it on the channel, and of course on the channel itself, and I've had no issues at all. And there's some new functions on there that I will be trying in the future if I do get a big wood routed track. For me, it's really good. I set it up on this little pedestal. I can take it anywhere. That might sound silly, but if you are going to an event or you're setting up a quick little track inside, whatever it may be, you can use this to time your cars. Now, I have done it on every single scale. One of my latest videos of showing the part 2 build of the AFX track, the lap timing system, you can see being used in that. So jump over there and have a look. But it is pretty damn good. And once it's going through a Bluetooth speaker and on your TV, it is quite professional. Is it as good as the professional ones? Definitely not. For a free app, do I recommend it? Of course. I think every slot car person should have this in their app store and download it and have it on their phone, just in case. But I'd love to know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think this is a decent app to have? Are you happy with the lap times that I've been producing with this? Because this is what I've been testing the cars up against. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy on Instagram and YouTube. I am back in the slot shed. I'm trying to get some more stuff done. The hoist is gone. I've made a lot more room, so that's very exciting. But let me know if you do download this, because I'll be interested to see if more people are using it. But be safe, take care, support your local. Ciao.